The bridge of the USS Liberty was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional beep of incoming messages. Captain Jake Morrison stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the main screen that showed empty space ahead. His ship was moving toward the outer edge of the solar system, where alien vessels waited. Jake was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had been in the Space Navy for 20 years, but this was his first mission beyond Earth's solar system. The USS Liberty was humanity's first real warship designed for deep space, and it looked nothing like the sleek ships in old movies. The ship's hull was covered in patches and repairs. Paint had chipped off in many places, showing the dark metal underneath. The weapon systems looked old and simple compared to what Earth scientists knew other species possessed. But Jake knew there was more to his ship than what others could see. "Captain, we're getting signals from the alien fleet," said Lieutenant Commander Amy Rodriguez from her station. She was the ship's communication and tactical officer, a small woman with sharp eyes who spoke 4 human languages and was learning 2 alien ones. "What are they saying?" Jake asked. Amy listened to her headset for a moment, then looked up with a slight smile. "They're laughing at us, sir. The computer is translating their communications. They think our ship looks like a pile of scrap metal." Jake nodded. This was exactly what they had hoped for. The USS Liberty was designed to look weak and primitive. Earth's leaders wanted other species to think humanity was not a threat. It was better to be underestimated than feared, at least until they knew what they were dealing with. "Any response from their command ship?" Jake asked. "Yes, sir. Admiral Zektar of the Hegemony Fleet is sending a message now." The main screen changed to show an alien face. Admiral Zektar looked like a giant insect with 4 eyes and clicking mouthparts. His skin was green and shiny, and he wore what looked like a uniform covered in medals and symbols. "Human vessel." Zektar's voice came through the speakers with a mechanical translation. "I am Admiral Zektar of the Hegemony Fleet. Your primitive ship has entered space claimed by the Hegemony. You will surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded." Jake stepped forward. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Liberty. We are here on a peaceful mission from Earth. We request permission to speak with representatives of the Galactic Council." Zektar's mandibles clicked in what the computer identified as laughter. "Peaceful mission? Your species builds warships for peaceful missions? How amusing. You have 3 of your Earth hours to surrender. If you do not comply, we will take your ship by force and bring you before the Council as prisoners." The transmission ended. Jake looked around his bridge at his crew. There were 12 people working at various stations, all of them trained for this moment. They had practiced this scenario hundreds of times, but now it was real. "How many ships are out there, Amy?" Jake asked. 52 vessels, sir. All of them are bigger than us. The smallest one is twice our size. Their flagship is 5 times larger than the Liberty." Commander Steve Walsh, Jake's second in command, walked over from his station. Steve was a big man with a beard who had served on submarines before joining the Space Navy. "Captain, they're moving into attack formation around us. Standard intimidation pattern." Jake nodded. "Good, let them think we're scared." "What's our status, Ben?" Chief Engineer Ben Carter looked up from his console. Ben was young for his rank, only 30, but he was the smartest engineer in the fleet. "All systems are green, Captain. The special equipment is ready when you give the word." Special equipment was code for the weapons and systems that made the USS Liberty much more dangerous than it appeared. Hidden beneath the ship's rough exterior were advanced weapons that used technology the aliens had never seen before. Dr. Lisa Parker, the ship's science officer, was monitoring alien communications from her station. Lisa was a former professor who had joined the military when Earth learned about the existence of other species. "Captain, they're broadcasting this encounter to other fleets. They want everyone to see how easily they handle the primitive humans." "Perfect," Jake said. "The more who watch, the better." Jake knew that first impressions mattered in galactic politics. If humanity appeared weak and harmless, other species might ignore Earth for a while. That would give Earth time to build more ships and learn more about the galaxy. But if they appeared too weak, some species might decide to invade immediately. The plan was to look weak right up until the moment they had to fight. Then they would show just how dangerous humans could be. "Amy, open a channel to the alien fleet," Jake ordered. "Channel open, sir." "Admiral Zektar, this is Captain Morrison. We would like to discuss terms for a peaceful solution. Perhaps we could meet aboard your flagship?" There was a pause, then Zektar's voice came back, clearly amused. "You wish to negotiate? Very well, human. You may come aboard my ship with one of your advisors. But know that we do not negotiate with primitive species. We will listen to your surrender terms only. Understood, Admiral. We'll be over in 1 hour. Jake closed the channel and turned to his crew. Lisa, you're coming with me. I want you to scan everything you can while we're over there. Steve, you have the bridge. If something goes wrong, you know what to do. Steve nodded grimly. Yes, sir. Good luck. Jake and Lisa prepared to take the small shuttle over to the alien flagship. As they got ready, Jake looked around his bridge one more time. The USS Liberty might look like a piece of junk, but it was Earth's best hope for survival in a dangerous galaxy. The aliens were laughing now, but Jake knew that laughter would not last long. Soon they would learn that humans were not the primitive species they appeared to be. Soon they would learn that sometimes the most dangerous enemies were the ones you never saw coming. The shuttle bay doors opened, and Jake and Lisa flew toward the massive alien ship that waited in the darkness of space. The alien flagship was enormous. As Jake and Lisa flew their small shuttle toward it, they could see that it was at least a mile long and covered in smooth, glowing panels. The ship looked like it was made of crystal and light, very different from the rough metal hull of the USS Liberty. Look at the size of those weapon ports, Lisa whispered as they approached the docking bay. She was using a small scanner hidden in her jacket to record everything they saw. Stay calm, Jake replied quietly. Remember, we're supposed to be primitive and impressed by all this. The docking bay was huge, with dozens of alien ships parked inside. Robot arms grabbed their shuttle and guided it to a landing platform. Jake and Lisa put on their best worried expressions as they stepped out of their shuttle. 6 alien guards were waiting for them. The guards looked like Admiral Zektar but bigger and covered in armor. They carried weapons that glowed with blue energy. The guards did not speak, but pointed for Jake and Lisa to follow them. They walked through long corridors filled with holographic displays and floating platforms. Everything was clean and bright, designed to impress visitors with the hegemony's advanced technology. Other aliens stopped to stare at the humans as they passed. Some pointed and made clicking sounds that the translation devices said were laughter. The meeting room was a vast chamber with a crystal dome ceiling that showed the stars outside. Admiral Zektar stood at the center with 20 other alien officers from different species. Some looked like insects, others like reptiles, and a few like things Jake had never imagined. Welcome aboard the Destiny's Edge, Admiral Zektar said, his voice echoing in the large room. I am surprised you actually came. Most primitive species are too frightened to leave their ships. We appreciate your invitation, Jake replied, trying to sound nervous. Earth wants to establish peaceful relations with the Galactic Council. Several aliens made sounds that the computer translated as amused chittering. A large reptilian alien stepped forward. I am General Vexok of the Claw Empire. Tell me, human, what do you have to offer the galaxy? Your technology appears to be centuries behind ours. Lisa stepped forward slightly. We may not have advanced technology, but Earth has many resources. We have minerals, water, and a large population willing to work. More laughter from the aliens. Admiral Zektar's 4 eyes focused on Lisa. Work? You think we need primitive workers? We have machines that can do anything your species might accomplish. Your ship, said a floating alien that looked like a jellyfish made of light, appears to be held together with metal patches and primitive welding. How did you even reach this system without breaking apart? Jake forced himself to look embarrassed. Our engineers did their best with what we have. The USS Liberty is our most advanced ship. This caused even more laughter. Admiral Zektar gestured toward a large holographic display that showed the human ship surrounded by the alien fleet. Look at this formation, humans. 52 of the galaxy's most advanced warships surround your single primitive vessel. Each of our ships has firepower enough to destroy entire planets. Your ship would not survive one shot from our weakest weapon. While the aliens boasted about their technology, Lisa's hidden scanner was recording everything. She was learning about their shield frequencies, weapon types, and communication systems. The aliens were so confident in their superiority that they were not even trying to hide their capabilities. Our shields, continued General Vexok, can stop any energy weapon your species might develop for the next 1,000 years. Our faster-than-light drives can cross the galaxy in days. Our weapons can crack the surface of a moon. Impressive, Jake said, sounding suitably awed. Earth has nothing like that. Of course not, Admiral Zektar replied. Your species has barely learned to leave your home planet. You are like children playing with toys while we wield the power of stars. A new alien, one that looked like a walking tree with crystal bark, spoke up. Perhaps we should just take their ship apart to study their primitive construction methods. It might be amusing to see how they managed to reach space with such basic technology. An excellent idea, Admiral Zektar agreed. But first we should offer them a chance to serve the hegemony. Human, your species shows some promise. You managed to build a ship that actually flies, which is more than some species accomplish. If you surrender now and agree to serve the hegemony as workers, we may allow your planet to continue existing. Jake pretended to consider this carefully. What kind of work would Earth be expected to do? Simple labor, General Vexok answered. Mining, farming, basic construction, work that is beneath more advanced species but suitable for primitives like yourselves. We would need to discuss this with our government, Jake said slowly. Admiral Zektar's mandibles clicked impatiently. You have no choice in this matter, human. Your single ship cannot fight our entire fleet. Accept our generous offer, or we will take your ship by force and your planet will be conquered anyway. Lisa spoke up quietly. May I ask about your weapons? For our report to Earth's government? The aliens looked amused by her question. Show them, Admiral Zektar ordered. The holographic display changed to show detailed images of alien weapons. Energy cannons that could melt through armor, plasma missiles that exploded with the force of nuclear bombs, and shield systems that could absorb incredible amounts of damage. These are standard weapons, General Vexok explained proudly. Every ship in our fleet carries enough firepower to destroy your entire vessel in seconds. Your primitive kinetic weapons and chemical explosives would be useless against our defenses. While the alien officers continued to boast, Lisa's scanner recorded every detail of their weapon systems and defensive capabilities. She was particularly interested in their shield frequencies and the energy signatures of their weapons. This information would be crucial for what came next. I think we have seen enough, Jake said finally. We need to return to our ship to consider your offer. You have one of your hours to decide, Admiral Zektar declared. Surrender and serve or be destroyed. Those are your only options. As Jake and Lisa walked back to their shuttle, they could hear the aliens laughing behind them. The aliens were so confident in their superiority that they did not even bother to scan the humans for recording devices. During the shuttle flight back to the USS Liberty, Lisa uploaded all the data she had gathered to the ship's computers. The aliens had revealed everything about their capabilities while learning nothing about human technology. Did you get what we needed? Jake asked quietly. Everything and more, Lisa replied with a small smile. They're so proud of their technology that they showed us exactly how to beat it. As their shuttle approached the USS Liberty, Jake looked at his ship with new eyes. It still looked like a piece of junk covered in patches and repairs. But now he knew something the aliens did not. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon was the one nobody saw coming. Jake and Lisa returned to the USS Liberty with 45 minutes left before the alien deadline. As soon as they were back on the bridge, Jake called all senior officers for an emergency meeting in the war room. The war room was small and cramped, with a single table surrounded by 8 chairs. The walls were covered with display screens showing the positions of all alien ships around them. Commander Steve Walsh was already there when Jake arrived, along with Chief Engineer Ben Carter and the other department heads. What did we learn? Steve asked as Jake and Lisa took their seats. Lisa connected her scanner to the room's computer system. Everything we need, she said. The aliens were so eager to show off that they gave us complete information about their weapons, shields, and ship designs. The main display showed detailed breakdowns of the alien fleet. Each ship was identified by type, size, and weapon configuration. Lisa had recorded energy signatures, shield frequencies, and even the basic layout of their command systems. Their shields are designed to stop energy weapons, Lisa explained. Plasma beams, laser cannons, particle accelerators, all the advanced weapons that galactic civilizations have been using for thousands of years. What about kinetic weapons? Ben asked. Lisa smiled. That's the best part. They barely mentioned kinetic weapons at all. Their shields are practically useless against solid projectiles moving at high speed. Jake leaned forward. How useless? Completely useless, Captain. Their shields work by dispersing energy across a wide area. A physical object just punches right through. It's like trying to stop a bullet with a flashlight. Commander Walsh studied the display. What about their armor?
Standard crystalline hull plating, Lisa replied.
Strong against energy weapons, but it shatters on impact with solid objects. They've optimized everything for the kind of warfare they're used to fighting. Ben Carter was already working on his tablet, running calculations. Captain, if we use the railgun system at maximum power, we can accelerate our projectiles to 30% of light speed. At that velocity, even a small piece of metal hits like a nuclear bomb. Jake nodded. The railgun system was the USS Liberty's biggest secret. Hidden throughout the ship were magnetic acceleration tubes that could fire solid projectiles at incredible speeds. The system had been tested in Earth's solar system, but never used in actual combat. How many ships can we target at once? Jake asked. All of them, Ben replied confidently. The AI system can calculate firing solutions for multiple targets simultaneously. We can engage the entire fleet within the first 30 seconds. Lieutenant Commander Amy Rodriguez had been quiet during the discussion, but now she spoke up. Captain, there's something else. While Lisa was recording their technical specifications, I was monitoring their communications. They're broadcasting this whole encounter live to other alien fleets. How many are watching? Steve asked. Hundreds of ships from dozens of different species. They're all expecting to see the primitive humans get crushed by the mighty hegemony fleet. Jake smiled grimly. Perfect. The more witnesses, the better. The plan was simple but dangerous. Earth needed to establish itself as a major power in galactic politics, not as a primitive species to be ignored or conquered. The best way to do that was to demonstrate military capability that no one expected. What about casualties? Dr. Lisa asked quietly. There will be thousands of aliens on those ships. We'll target their weapon and engine systems first, Jake replied. Disable as many as possible before destroying any completely. But if they don't surrender quickly, we do whatever it takes to protect Earth. Jake stood up and looked around the room at his officers. These 12 people were about to change the course of human history. Any questions about the plan? Just one, Commander Walsh said. When do we drop the disguise? Jake checked his watch. In 30 minutes. Ben, start bringing the systems online, but keep them hidden until I give the word. Amy, monitor all communications. I want to know the second they decide to attack. Lisa, prepare full spectrum scans of all enemy vessels. The officers left to prepare their departments. Jake remained in the war room with Steve, looking at the display showing 52 alien ships surrounding them. Think it will work? Steve asked. It has to, Jake replied. Earth is counting on us. 30 minutes later, Jake was back on the bridge. The alien deadline had arrived, and Admiral Zektar was already sending threatening messages demanding immediate surrender. All departments report ready, Commander Walsh announced from his station. Amy, what are the aliens doing? Jake asked. Moving into attack formation, Captain. They're powering up weapons and preparing to disable our ship. Jake watched the main screen as the beautiful alien ships moved gracefully through space around them. In a few minutes, many of those ships would be destroyed. Jake felt no satisfaction at the thought, but he knew there was no other choice. Captain, Ben called from his engineering station. All railgun systems are charged and ready. Targeting computers are locked on all enemy vessels. Lisa, are you recording everything? Yes, sir. Full sensor recording of the entire engagement. Jake took a deep breath. Amy, send one final message to Admiral Zektar. Tell him that Earth respectfully declines his offer and requests that his fleet withdraw from this system. Amy sent the message. The response came back immediately, filled with angry clicking and mechanical translations of alien curses. He says we have sealed our fate, Amy reported. The fleet is moving to attack positions. Jake watched as the alien ships closed in around the USS Liberty. Their weapons were glowing with energy, and their shields were at maximum power. They expected this to be a quick and easy victory against a primitive human ship. All hands, this is the captain, Jake announced over the ship's communication system. Prepare for combat operations. This is not a drill. Throughout the ship, the crew moved to their battle stations. Hidden panels slid open to reveal weapon systems that had been disguised as simple hull plating. The USS Liberty's true nature was about to be revealed. Captain, Amy called out urgently. Multiple alien ships are targeting us with weapons lock. They're preparing to fire. Jake looked one more time at the display showing the enemy fleet. 52 ships against 1. The aliens were confident in their victory. They were broadcasting their triumph to the entire galaxy. All weapons, Jake ordered quietly. Fire. The USS Liberty transformed in an instant. Hidden panels all along the hull slid open, revealing dozens of railgun ports that had been disguised as simple maintenance hatches. The ship that had looked like a floating piece of junk suddenly bristled with weapons. The first salvo fired simultaneously from 20 different railgun systems. Each projectile was a simple piece of dense metal, but accelerated to 30% of light speed by powerful magnetic fields. The aliens had no time to react before the projectiles reached their targets. The lead hegemony destroyer simply vanished. One moment it was there, weapons charging and shields glowing. The next moment it was an expanding cloud of debris. The kinetic projectile had hit with such force that it vaporized the entire front section of the ship instantly. Direct hit on target Alpha, Amy reported from her tactical station. Target destroyed. But the USS Liberty was just getting started. Ben Carter's targeting system had calculated firing solutions for every alien ship in the fleet. As fast as the railguns could recharge, they fired again and again. The second volley destroyed 4 more ships. The alien formation began to break apart as captains realized their shields were useless against these strange human weapons. Panic spread through their communications as ships tried to scatter in different directions. Unknown weapon type. Admiral Zektar's voice came over the communication channels. Shields are ineffective. All ships, evasive maneuvers. Commander Steve Walsh coordinated the attack from his station, watching as each railgun system fired in sequence. Targets Charlie and Delta destroyed. Echo and Foxtrot disabled. Continuing engagement. The USS Liberty spun slowly in space, bringing different weapon systems to bear on new targets. The ship's design suddenly made sense. What had looked like random patches and ugly hull sections were actually carefully placed armor plates protecting the railgun systems. Dr. Lisa Parker monitored alien communications from her science station. Captain, they're screaming about impossible physics. Their computers can't track projectiles moving that fast. The third volley took out 6 more ships. The aliens were firing back now, sending streams of plasma and energy beams toward the human vessel. But their targeting computers were designed for conventional space warfare. They could not lock onto a ship that moved as fast and unpredictably as the USS Liberty. Incoming plasma torpedoes, Amy announced. Impact in 15 seconds. Defensive systems active, Ben replied calmly. The USS Liberty's point defense systems activated for the first time. Small railguns designed for close combat fired streams of projectiles that intercepted the incoming plasma torpedoes, detonating them safely away from the ship. The few energy beams that reached the Liberty struck armor plates specifically designed to absorb and disperse their energy. No damage to primary systems, Ben reported. Hull temperature within normal limits. Jake watched the battle unfold on the main screen. The beautiful alien ships were being systematically destroyed by weapons they could not understand or defend against. It was not a fair fight, but Jake knew that fairness was a luxury Earth could not afford. Captain, Amy called out. General Vexok is trying to rally his ships. He's ordering them to ram us. Let them try, Jake replied grimly. 3 alien ships broke formation and accelerated directly toward the USS Liberty. Their captains hoped to destroy the human ship by ramming it with their larger vessels. It was a desperate tactic, but they saw no other option. The Liberty's response was swift and final. Railgun systems targeted the approaching ships and fired at point-blank range. The projectiles passed completely through the alien vessels, leaving massive holes in their hulls. All 3 ships broke apart from internal explosions before they could reach their target. Ramming attack failed, Steve reported. All 3 vessels destroyed. The alien fleet was now in complete chaos. Half their ships were destroyed or disabled, and the survivors were fleeing in all directions. But the USS Liberty was faster than it appeared. Hidden engine systems gave the ship incredible acceleration and maneuverability. Amy tracked the fleeing vessels on her sensors, multiple ships attempting to escape. Shall we pursue? Negative, Jake replied. Let some of them go. We want survivors to spread the word. The Liberty focused on the remaining ships that were still trying to fight. Admiral Zektar's flagship was the largest target, but it was also the most heavily defended. The ship's crystalline hull could absorb several railgun hits before breaking apart. Target the flagship's weapon systems, Jake ordered. Disable, don't destroy. The railguns fired with surgical precision, taking out the alien flagship's main weapons while leaving the ship's life support and command systems intact. Within minutes, the mighty Destiny's Edge was floating helplessly in space, its weapons destroyed and its engines offline. Flagship disabled, Amy reported. Admiral Zektar is requesting to speak with you. Put him through. Admiral Zektar's image appeared on the main screen. The alien's four eyes showed fear and confusion. His elegant uniform was torn and sparks flew from damaged equipment behind him. What are you? Zektar asked, his voice shaking. Your weapons are impossible. No species in the galaxy has technology like this. We're human, Jake replied simply, and we're not as primitive as you thought. Around them, the battle was ending. 26 alien ships had been completely destroyed. 15 more were disabled and drifting. Only 11 ships had escaped, fleeing toward the edge of the system as fast as their engines could carry them. The USS Liberty hung in space surrounded by the wreckage of the once mighty hegemony fleet. The ship that had been mocked as a piece of junk had single-handedly defeated 52 advanced alien warships in less than 30 minutes. Captain, Dr. Lisa called from her station. We're receiving communications from all over the galaxy. Every major species is asking for information about this battle. What are they saying? Jake asked. Most of them want to know what happened to the hegemony fleet. A few are asking if Earth is interested in forming military alliances. Jake smiled for the first time since the battle began. The plan had worked perfectly. Humanity had announced its presence in galactic politics in a way that no one could ignore. Amy, open a channel to all surviving alien vessels. Channel open. Captain? This is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Liberty. We will accept your surrender now. Any ship that wishes to leave this system may do so freely. Any ship that remains will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. The response was immediate. Every surviving alien ship began broadcasting surrender signals. The mighty fleet that had come to conquer a primitive human ship was now begging for mercy from the species they had planned to enslave. The laughter had stopped. The aftermath of the battle was more chaotic than the fighting itself. Within an hour of the USS Liberty's victory, every major government in the galaxy was trying to contact Earth. The communications board on Amy Rodriguez's station lit up with incoming messages from dozens of different species. Captain, we have requests for diplomatic contact from the Altarian Republic, the Crystal Consortium, the Free Traders Alliance, and at least 20 other governments, Amy reported. They all want to establish formal relations with Earth immediately. Jake was still standing on the bridge watching the cleanup operations on the main screen. Commander Walsh was coordinating rescue efforts for the alien survivors. Even after destroying most of their fleet, humans were sending medical aid and life support to damaged alien ships. Any word from the Galactic Council? Jake asked. Yes, sir. They're requesting an immediate emergency session. They want Earth to send a representative to explain what happened here. Dr. Lisa Parker looked up from her science station where she had been analyzing the battle data. Captain, the political implications of this are enormous. We just proved that human military technology is superior to anything the galaxy has seen before. Chief Engineer Ben Carter was running diagnostics on all systems. Despite firing hundreds of railgun projectiles and fighting an entire fleet, the USS Liberty had taken minimal damage. A few armor plates were scorched from alien energy weapons, but all primary systems were operating normally. Engineering reports all green across the board, Ben announced. We could fight another battle right now if we needed to. Jake hoped they would not need to. Earth had sent him to establish peaceful contact with galactic civilization, not to start a war. But sometimes peace could only be achieved through strength. Captain, Amy called out. Admiral Zektar is requesting permission to come aboard our ship. He says he wants to discuss surrender terms. Grant permission. Have him meet us in Conference Room 2. Steve, Lisa, you're with me. Conference Room 2 was even smaller than the war room, with space for only 6 people around a metal table. Jake chose it deliberately to show that despite their victory, humans did not need impressive surroundings to conduct business. Admiral Zektar arrived an hour later, escorted by 2 human security guards. The alien admiral looked very different from the proud commander who had demanded Earth's surrender. His uniform was damaged, his medals were missing, and his 4 eyes showed exhaustion and defeat. Admiral, Jake said as Zektar took a seat across from him, I understand you wish to discuss terms. I do not understand your species, Zektar said quietly. Your ship appears primitive, but it possesses weapons beyond our comprehension. Your crew could have destroyed every ship in my fleet, but you chose to spare survivors. What do you want from us? Jake leaned back in his chair. We want to be left alone to develop in peace. We want fair treatment in galactic politics, and we want other species to understand that Earth is not a primitive world to be conquered. You have certainly made that clear, Zektar replied. My government will want to establish formal diplomatic relations immediately. The hegemony has no wish to be enemies with a species that can destroy our fleet so easily. Dr. Lisa spoke up. Admiral, may I ask why your weapons were so ineffective against our ship? Zektar's mandibles clicked slowly. Your armor appears to be designed specifically to counter energy weapons. And your kinetic weapons? We have not seen their like in 1,000 years. Most civilizations abandoned kinetic weapons when energy shields were developed. Most civilizations, Commander Walsh noted, but not all. Indeed, it seems humans developed along a different path than the rest of the galaxy. Your weapons are primitive in design but devastating in effect. Jake stood up. Admiral, you and your surviving crew are free to leave this system. We will provide assistance with repairs if needed. All we ask is that you report accurately what happened here. Zektar also stood. Captain Morrison, I will report that humanity possesses military technology capable of defeating any fleet in the galaxy. I will also report that despite this power, humans showed mercy to defeated enemies. Both facts will be of great interest to the Galactic Council. After Zektar left, Jake returned to the bridge to find his crew dealing with a flood of new communications. The news of the battle had spread across the galaxy faster than light, carried by quantum communication networks that connected every major world. Captain, we just received a priority message from Earth Command, Amy announced. Admiral Johnson wants a full report immediately. Send him everything, Jake replied. Battle recordings, casualty reports, diplomatic contacts, everything. There's more, sir. The President wants to speak with you personally. And Congress is calling an emergency session to discuss Earth's new status in galactic politics. Jake was not surprised. In one battle, humanity had gone from an unknown primitive species to a major galactic power. Earth's leaders would have to completely rethink their approach to interstellar relations. Any response from the species that were watching the battle? Jake asked. Dr. Lisa answered from her station. 43 different governments have formally requested diplomatic contact with Earth. 12 species have offered military alliances. The Free Traders Alliance wants to discuss exclusive trade agreements. And the Galactic Council? They've invited Earth to join as a full member immediately, with all rights and privileges. No probationary period, no cultural evaluation, no technology assessment. They want us in the Council as fast as possible. Jake smiled. A month ago, Earth had been completely unknown to galactic civilization. Now they were being invited to join the most powerful political organization in the galaxy. Captain, Commander Walsh said from his station. What are your orders? Do we head home or continue the mission? Jake thought for a moment. The original mission had been to make contact with alien civilizations and assess the threat to Earth. That mission was definitely complete. Set course for the Galactic Council headquarters, Jake decided. If Earth is going to be a galactic power, we need to establish our embassy and begin formal diplomatic relations. Aye, sir, the helmsman replied. As the USS Liberty turned away from the battlefield and accelerated toward the galactic core, Jake looked one more time at the wreckage floating in space. 26 destroyed alien ships served as a message to the entire galaxy. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated or threatened. The ship that had been laughed at for its primitive appearance was now the most feared vessel in known space. Every alien captain who saw the USS Liberty would remember what happened to the hegemony fleet and think twice before challenging human interests. Jake's communication board chimed with an incoming message from Earth. It was Admiral Johnson, commander of Earth's Space Forces and Jake's direct superior. Jake, Admiral Johnson said as his image appeared on the screen. I just finished reviewing your battle report. Outstanding work. Earth is proud of you and your crew. Thank you, sir. I have new orders for you. Earth's government has decided to accept the Galactic Council's invitation. You're to establish humanity's first interstellar embassy and begin formal diplomatic relations with as many species as possible. Understood, Admiral. And Jake, the President wanted me to tell you personally that you've changed the course of human history. Because of what you accomplished out there, Earth will never again be seen as a primitive world ripe for conquest. As the transmission ended, Jake looked around his bridge at the crew that had made this victory possible. 12 people on a ship that looked like junk had defeated the most powerful fleet in their part of the galaxy. The aliens had laughed at the human warship. But now the entire galaxy knew that sometimes the most dangerous enemies were the ones you never saw coming, and sometimes the species that looked the most primitive were actually the most deadly of all.